Artificial intelligence is presenting a real challenge to the American workforce. A fresh new report shows more than 10,000 jobs have been cut so far this year due to the rise of generative AI in private companies. Bank of America's CEO talked about the impact of AI on job growth on Face the Nation Sunday.
AI gives you a place to go that we've never been able to go before. In other words, there are jobs that take text, think about it, and produce it. Many jobs in our company, our research team. Now you're able to maybe use a machine to enhance that activity. So we believe that people who harness AI for their benefit are going to be very successful.
10,000 jobs lost. You also wonder, are any jobs being created? But which roles are most at risk right now? Who's really being hit hardest?
We've been talking for a while now about AI's potential to take over jobs. It's no longer a possibility or a likelihood, it's a reality. So far this year, so for the first 7 months of 2025, employers cut 10,000 jobs, and they attributed those cuts directly to AI. Not surprisingly, a lot of the job cuts are concentrated in the tech sector because AI is good at things like coding. It's also good at the kinds of rote, repetitive tasks that are usually associated with entry-level work, which is making it harder for some recent college graduates to land their first jobs out of school.
I mean, for Gen Z and I guess younger millennials, they have just had a really tough time with the world. I mean, if they're just now...
So I wonder how much of this is going to mean that there's going to be a lot more unpaid internships coming up. Because if you're someone who just graduated university and you're looking for your first entry-level job to get your feet wet and get the ball rolling, but you lose that opportunity because AI is doing what you would have been doing otherwise, I wonder how much of is going to be companies bringing you on in unpaid roles to do things, to train you up, maybe apprenticeships that will allow you to get that skill and experience you need to go to more mid-level and senior level roles as opposed to entry level. Is this going to be a shakeup? Like when internet first came out, people were like, oh, this is a fad, it's going to go away, it's not here to stay. Well, guess what happened? Internet is very alive and well, as we can clearly see. It's ubiquitous now. We can't imagine our lives anymore without the internet. And people like me, who's a millennial, I really can barely imagine it because I was young when internet wasn't like it is now. So it's very interesting to see what's going to happen. Like you said earlier, a lot of jobs now that require, like they said, rote tasks or stuff that is generative AI. Okay, there's different types of AI, and we'll get to there in a second. But any job that requires you to kind of enter data or to search data and output data, yeah, I can see how AI is gonna mess things up as far as jobs go.
Graduating, or they've just started at a new job and they're in the tech sector, which they have been told forever is going to bring them riches and success. What are they experiencing?
Well, some of them might be having concentration remorse. By that, I mean regretful for having concentrated in these subjects that they thought would provide them a lot of opportunities for jobs. What they're finding is, according to the One Career platform, job postings for recent college grads are down 15%. Meanwhile, applications for those same jobs are up 30%.
Wow.
So they're finding that it's even harder. It was hard to begin with. It's even harder to land that first job out of school.
I think that right now what's going to happen is, okay, there's two groups of people that might be affected the most. People who are just graduating university or college and people who are heading towards the end of their careers, because the people that just graduated college that graduated in careers like tech, specifically in computer programming and things of that nature, who were told, hey, go this route like they said, and you're almost guaranteed to get a return on your investment, are now like, dang, I really just spent 4-5 years of my life in school learning something that now is no longer something that companies are looking to hire me for, but instead have a computer do it. And then people on the latter years of their career, they don't really have the time or the desire or the energy to change and learn a new skill. So now they're gonna have to figure out if their job is gonna be affected in any way, what's gonna happen there. So that's that. I guess you could say the younger people have it easier because even though they just finished 5 years and they might say this is sunk cost, not so much. They could find jobs that are, they have transferable skills that they just learn to go into, or they may have to go and get some like more education as far as training, the certifications, what have you. They should be okay. But the ones that are older and AI is affecting them, like they're working as copywriters or other creative type of industries, I feel bad for those folks.
Moving now to artificial intelligence and anxiety around its impact on the job market only increasing, already leading to some major shifts in our workforce. Artificial intelligence disrupting giants like management consultant McKinsey and Company at an existential level already, with the tech increasingly doing much of the work highly paid consultants used to do on an often much faster timeline. And for the younger workforce like Gen Z, the entrance of AI steering them towards very different jobs than were popular before. News Nation's Mills Hayes has more on this. And Mills, how is Gen Z reevaluating what a good career looks like?
Hi, Natasha. No question that AI is affecting every industry in America. You mentioned that management consultant group, but McKinsey, they wrote a study about 2 years ago that found that 30% of the things that you do at work right now could be automated in the next 3 years, which is why more young people are shifting to blue collar jobs.
AI isn't going to take over the hard skills. Okay, AI can take the soft skills. That's why you see, people in white collar jobs. Some of them are losing their positions because AI can now do their job.
Cameron Vogelslang is an electrician in Tennessee who believes that.
Okay guys, so I wanted to pull this article up by Forbes to go along with the videos that we're watching, because this article, it's quoting information that was based upon an actual study of users and not just of experts' predictions, as you can see here. Instead of expert predictions, this research tracks actual AI usage in workplaces. So I think that's important to look at, to see, okay, what jobs can we, right now anyways, based upon generative AI and prompt AI, which we have so far, what kind of jobs are really at stake? And what are the jobs that are going to be ones that people should probably look to go into in the future that are more safe? So here it's saying that the jobs facing the highest AI disruption, right? Top 10 according to this Forbes article. And these aren't necessarily jobs, they're kind of jobs slash areas of career fields. So interpreters, translators, historians, passenger attendants, that one's interesting to me. Sales reps, it's called also interesting. Writers and authors, that's pretty obvious with generative AI. Customer service, that's pretty obvious too. When you have, these chat bots, stuff like that. Telephone operators, you can kind of see that too. CNC tool programmers, not exactly sure what that is exactly. Ticket agents and travel clerks, I can kind of see that, but also seems a little bit weird. Broadcast announcers and radio DJs. Now that one, radio DJs, we have like AI doing radio shows or something, I don't know. All right, so what are the jobs that are least vulnerable? Well, first of all, I was going into why these jobs are vulnerable. So it's saying that, okay, so I zoomed in a little bit for you guys. So it's saying that these jobs are vulnerable because they're heavy reliance on information processing and communication. Now that's obviously a no-brainer. So right now we have two types of AI, or like AI that's kind of publicly being used but a lot by people, is prompt AI. You enter in a prompt, it gives you something back. And generative, that's the normal chat GPT that we use. It's similar to Google, where you type in, what are the 10 best restaurants in my city, and make sure that they're 4 stars or more and that they serve sushi. And you type that in and then it provides you the information back, and that's prompt. Then you have the generative. Generative is now where you can create images, you can create all these different kind of things, videos, stuff like that, which is also improving at a rapid rate. And I use it myself with other things that I do, and it's amazing. You can, like I said, you can create images, you can create photorealistic images, you can create all kinds of images, because it's really good at that right now. Videos is getting there, but we're not there yet, because you've seen the videos now all over the place. A lot of them are pretty garbage, if being honest, where it has a person has 3 hands, or it might look real until they take a bite of food and then their whole, instead of just biting the chicken off the bone, they bite the whole entire chicken with the bone and it goes away, that kind of stuff. But it's getting there. That's a generative AI. Then there's another one coming along that is theoretical right now. It hasn't been achieved yet, but that's what a lot of these companies are pushing for. And it is artificial general intelligence, I believe, which is, let me not say this wrong. Let me pull it up to actually say what it is exactly. So the third one that is not here yet, that they're saying is what a lot of these companies, these open AI companies and the likes, are trying to achieve, is something called artificial general intelligence. And as it says here, it's a hypothetical type of AI that can understand, learn, and apply knowledge across a wide range of tasks, much like a human being. Okay, so you think AI is crazy now. Just imagine what it's gonna be like in the next 10, 15, 20 years. It'll get to the point where, what I'm afraid of, we've all seen Terminator. All I'm afraid of is whenever it becomes sentient and it starts to have feelings and emotions and things like that. Even before it gets to that point, even if it's able to think like a human being, but just 10,000 times faster, imagine the level of disruption that will occur at that point. But like I said, we're not there yet. So yes, we have the heavy reliance on information processing. We have tasks involving data analysis, content creation, or answering questions. Again, that all makes a lot of sense, right? Digital task completion that does not require physical presence, again, makes a lot of sense. And functions that can often be performed remotely, makes sense. So now we scroll down, they're saying these are the 10 jobs that are safe, at least right now, from generative AI, okay? Generative AI. Not artificial general intelligence. We're not there yet, but if we get there, it's a whole new ballgame. But right now we're talking about generative AI. As far as prompt AI, it's not really causing as much disruption as I know of, but we have, and as you can imagine, a lot of these things require in-person, people-to-people, high complex thinking that requires not so much linear thought, but solving things that are, you have to be a problem solver. That's kind of, that's more like creative thinking for high complex problems in a high stakes scenario type situation. So you have phlebotomists, you have nursing assistants, helpers, painters, plasterers, embalmers, plant and system operators, oral and maxillofacial surgeons, automotive glass installers and repairers, ship engineers. You get the idea. All these things cannot be done by a computer, computers help them do their job, but it's done by people in real life. And so again, it says here, obviously, why these roles are insulated from AI: physical presence and manual dexterity. AI cannot emulate, goes without saying. Human empathy and interaction for patient care and service makes a lot of sense. ChatGPT, it can give you a lot of good information, but it's not gonna give you the empathetic feedback you need. Real world problem solving in unpredictable environments, which I was just talking about a second ago. Specialized training with safety or liability, obviously in complex equipment operation. Yeah, you don't want AI driving a forklift. So there we go. These are the jobs that a lot of students now looking back going, man, these are probably what I should have went into, not computer programming or a lot of these white collar jobs, which I'm a white collar worker too. So a lot of admin jobs like the job I do, hey, it could be coming for me next too.
There's more to offer in blue-collar work than people think, especially with the rise of AI. But one firm found that the adoption of AI resulted in more than 10,000 lost jobs in the month of July alone. In fact, 65% of Gen Z believe their college degree will not protect them from AI-related job loss. More than half of Gen Z workers say they're now seriously considering blue-collar or skilled trade work. Vogelsang travels the country with Energize US EDU. They hope to reshape the perception of skilled trades in America.
Gen Z, while there is an opportunity and people are interested in joining the trades, there's also these stigmas that shun people away from the trades. They don't want to be unhealthy. They don't want to be overweight.
But it's not just AI taking jobs. It's screening resumes and preventing people from even getting an interview. People like Derek Mobley, who was unemployed and searching for a job for 2 years.
I've, tried remote jobs, in-person jobs, different industries. And if it had the Workday branding associated with it, either I would not hear back at all, or the answer was no. There was never any maybes.
Mobley filed a lawsuit claiming Workday's AI-powered hiring tools discriminated against people on age, race, and mental health.
What are the chances that someone will be rejected 100% of the time? That just didn't make sense to me, just from a common sense perspective.
Workday says Mobley's claims have no merit, but a federal judge ruled the lawsuit could go forward as a nationwide collective action focusing on discrimination in age.
When you're applying to jobs, at least my experience is, you don't enter in demographic information. So, at the end of the application, they'll ask you if you want to voluntarily disclose certain things like your veteran status, your race, never age, and disability status, but that's about it. But other than that, you don't include your age, race, or your veteran status, or your gender, or anything on your resume or when completing applications. So I don't know how he can claim that they're discriminating against that. How would AI even know that? Unless it's like looking at his IP address and reading into his personal history when he's applying online. I don't get that, but that's a whole other idea. So yeah, AI is just obviously permeating our life now. And again, I keep comparing this back to the internet. Either people were like, this is the next big thing, or people were like, this is a fad. And now look. So I think most people agree now that AI is not a fad, it's here to stay, and it's going to evolve rapidly. It's just a matter of how do we take advantage of it so that we can leverage it to improve our lives, and so that we can minimize and mitigate how much it affects us negatively in our lives, and to ensure that we can ensure, and this is not something that maybe I can do or you can do necessarily, this is more the developers and people who own these companies that are creating and developing AI. How do we make sure that AI doesn't harm us as a species? Which sounds almost crazy to say because it sounds like science fiction, but it's no longer really science fiction. Now, again, we're not yet at the place where we should, we're not at Terminator stage, but again, very possible we get there, and very possible we get there within my lifetime, your lifetime. So yeah. That being said though, tough for these Gen Z folks. A lot of us had troubles when we first graduated in different ways, but for those caught right now in this time frame where there's a transition to a lot of companies using more AI, they're caught just graduating. Those are the people that are hit the hardest. Because people like me who have been in the work field for, now what is it, 10 years now? I'm still early career, if you think about it from a perspective of retiring at 65, but I've been in the career long enough to where I'm not entry level anymore. So those jobs that are really being hit hard by AI, I'm not really feeling that, thankfully. But for those people who are just graduating now, they're really feeling that, and it's tough for those folks. So, or people re-entering the job market after being off for a while, like let's say stay-at-home parents, for example. So I feel for those people because AI is definitely making it more difficult. Let's see where it goes. Everybody do what you can to take advantage of AI as opposed to being afraid of it. And with that being said, thank you for sticking around and watching the video. If you made it this far, feel free to give it a like and subscribe. And until next time, make smart financial decisions.